Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for being here today. I really appreciate your time, which is very important. And I really welcome every one of you to participate in this in different engagement sessions that we will have during this day. And it is very important to share the experiences and your expertise about the topic that we are going to discuss. My name is Erida Tsurai, and I'm a knowledge transfer expert at SCiDEV Center, which is a think tank organization. We are supporting a nation project, which is a Horizon Europe project. And this is one of our main goals as an organization, that we are strengthening the research to society research, and which is one of our main and strong points is that we are empowering quadruple helix model in the country, in Albania. I really would like to know something about you. Do we have here students? Some civil society? Some of them, yeah. And so as I see today, we have much more experts. One of the main reasons of this engagement session is that we are going to introduce you different sources that you can use not only during the process of application, but the sources that you can use as well on the project as Horizon Europe. And but which is one of the most important things is that we are going to help you to build the network on the like-minded professionals. And the third most important thing that we are going to do during this engagement session is that we are going to explore the way how to collaborate with each other, which have this project in itself has many tools that you can do this. Today in this national engagement event, which is one of the many different events that the project Nation has. We are in Tirana in the second time, which is every year we had, even last year we have the likewise event. And last year it was, Tirana was the 42th destination and 42nd destination. And it was in April 2023. And we have likewise events that we build, especially we build the networking with experts, academia, civil society, and as well has been informed about the mission of the project. The project itself as the mission of European mission, which is a soil for Europe, a soil deal for Europe, and this is the most important thing that the project in itself is working on. How it is doing this? By establishing 100 networking living lab and lighthouses, and we are going to explain to you what does this mean. One of the mission of this project in itself is as well not only to introduce to you the mission about the soil, but as well to show you different good exercises that they have done during the project, and as well we are going to share Albanian case studies that how we do work on this program in itself and on this line. So how we are working as a country in a soil deal for Europe. Good news is that on 8th May is already opened the call about that you can apply, and this year there are two fields of application, and the focus is on the soil health in urban areas. So what is good news as well is that Nation project is helping you and supporting you to apply on this project. So before we go to the details of what I already tips until now, I would like to share with you the data protection regulation. So I think that even when you have already registered yourself in this event, you have seen many of this information, but I would really like to introduce to you, or at least to inform you and to read about this data protection regulation. So as we say that we will have this registration link that already we had during the process of the registration, and as well today we are going to share with each other, but feel free, if you wouldn't like photos or be part of the video, or as well to share this information, you can contact the info at nations.eu. In the other hand, if you have given your consent during the process of registration, so please feel free as well that if you don't like, or if you don't, or if you change the concern, so please as well inform to the info@nation.eu. And as already I introduced to you in the beginning, we will record this Zoom on the Zoom this meeting this evening today. Then this is one of the product of the project in itself. So today we will discuss, or we will be all the day, we will have in two main sessions. The first session, we will introduce to you about the mission, about the soil health living, and as well the topics that you need to know, which is more important, is as well for me, it's more important is to know about the application. So all this information we will discuss on the first session, and then we will have the engagement session, which is very important. We will just lead you by some question, but you feel free to share your experience. And it's very important for us to know much more about you and about your expertise. And then we will have the second session, which we will know much more what is Albania doing on this direction. And that's why we have different actors from civil society, from the academia and from the businesses, and we would like to know much more about this. So in the end, we will have some information about matchmaking, which is one of the tools that this project has, that you can build your network with likewise professionals. And in the end, we will have a modest reception, which we can continue our discussion in the informal way. So thank you very much for everything until now. Feel free to ask us, feel free to get notes, and we can discuss furthermore, especially in engagement session. So I will come, Maria, about the first topic of today.
Thank you, Rida. I wish to welcome you all here in the name of the Nations Project and Biosense Institute, where we are working at, and this project. So my name is Marija Vagic, and I will go a little bit through the mission and what it means, how it works, what it is. The EU has launched the mission A Soil Deal for Europe to provide for a gradual creation of 100 living labs and lighthouses in Europe to lead the transition towards healthy soils. We will get into the living labs and lighthouses in a bit. My colleague Vladislava will speak a little bit more about living labs, but for now we will see what the mission is about. So life on Earth depends on healthy soils, and soil is the basis of 95% of our food. Not to forget all timber we harvest and use. What is important, healthy soils, because healthy soils provide additional essential ecosystem services, such as we can see healthy water, clean water, great habitats for biodiversity, and they are major carbon reservoirs, which help slow the onset of climate change while making us more resilient to extreme climatic events. Healthy soils are essential for all life sustaining processes on Earth. In light of this, the mission has defined healthy soils as having the continued capacity to support ecosystem services. But often soil is taken for granted, yet soil is fragile. It is not a renewable resource, and we need to carefully manage and kept safe for the future generations. So what we will see is what is the threats for the soils. We can see that soil is threatened by a range of human activities, such as competition for land, intensive land use, production, consumption patterns, urbanization, as we all know, and climate change. Only in Europe, about 2/3 of the soils are considered as unhealthy, and this does not even include an uncertain percentage of soils unhealthy due to the pollution issues. Degraded soils lose their capacity to act as a carbon stores. They lose their capacity to filter and store contaminants, thereby releasing pollutants such as heavy metals or pesticides. The process of soil degradation can lead to a collapse of landscapes and ecosystem, making even a society more vulnerable to extreme weather events that we are also well aware of, food insecurity and contamination. The number or the value of more than 50 billion euros are associated with soil degradation in European Union. So in the last year, the EU was working on soil monitoring and resilience law as a part of EU soil strategy for 2030. And it was proposed to the EU, and now it is in a phase of going through European Parliament and Ministry of Europe, the Commission. So after the EU soil monitoring law, if they accepted, it would be much easier to work towards healthy soils. So we will see what will happen in a future, but we as a soil mission expect that this will happen soon. So in a more detail, there are three objectives of monitoring law. First one, monitoring and assessment of soil health, is to arrange for a solid and coherent monitoring framework for all soils across the EU, so member states can identify degraded soils to take targeted measures and regenerate this. The objective of the second one, contaminated sites, implies that member states are requested to identify potentially contaminated sites to investigate the risk and to address unacceptable risk for human health in the environment. This contributes to reaching a toxic-free environment by 2050 that we all know already. And the third one and the final is the soil monitoring law will make sustainable soil management the norm. Member states will have to define which practices should be implemented by soil management and which should be banned because of the soil degradation. And as the Balkan region is trying to get there in a group of EU members, so I think this is also very important for our countries to try to also implement some of these regulations. So now we will speak a little bit about the mission main goal, namely the 100 living labs and lighthouses that the EU mission, A Soil Deal for Europe, aims to establish by 2030, and real-life setting places for on-the-ground experiments, and they can help identify and showcase which practices are locally successful. A Soil Deal for Europe is one of the 5 EU missions that started a few years ago. We have 5 of them. One is regarding the cancer. The second one is about the oceans and waters. We have also for the smart cities, and one is dedicated to climate change. But today we will speak on Soil Deal for Europe. The soil mission particularly is created to lead the transition towards healthy soils. It is also at the heart of EU Green Deal, which is a package of policy initiatives to overcome threats by climate change and environment degradation. I think that we all already know about the EU Green Deal, but this is also the part of the that initiatives. The benefits of the European Green Deal provide, among others, are fresh air, clean water, healthy soils, and biodiversity, and healthy and affordable food, which is very important. The mission is aiming to establish 100 living labs and lighthouses across all land uses and throughout the whole Europe, including the associated members, not just EU member states. And these living labs and lighthouses will accelerate the creation and uptake of solutions to meet specific objectives, to tackle specific soil issues. Soil health can be improved in many places, and the mission does not distinguish between the type of the land. Instead, it addresses all different soil types and systems: agriculture, forestry, natural, industrial, and urban sites. Some soil health challenges occur currently independent from the land use type. The mission really encourages a strong stakeholder and citizen engagement to accelerate the co-creation and uptake of solution. As Rita mentioned, we are all here today to change our to exchange our experiences and to boost the engagement in the future. And Living Labs boosts open science, interactive, participatory innovation. What is important, the collaboration across all professionals and places. And important thing is that we encourage bottom-up approach. And instead of top-down, as it is usually in our cases. A successful mission requires co-implementation by land managers, regions, businesses, researchers, policymakers, what is important, citizens, and international partners, not to be only in one region, one country. It is important to include also the other countries, because we cannot share and split the soil. It is something that we all share. I will go now through the mission 4 building blocks. The mission is built up of 4 building blocks. The first one, the Research and Innovation Program, builds the knowledge base for soil health, and it supports the ecosystem services to overcome still existing knowledge gaps in and insufficient access to data and knowledge. The second one is Living Labs and Lighthouses, what we will speak in a bit. Living Labs and Lighthouses accelerate the creation and uptake of solutions to soil threats, which addresses problems with adaptation of research results and technical solution to local circumstances and land managers' needs. I was mentioning soil monitoring law just a few seconds ago. And the final one, soil literacy, communication, citizens, and engagement. It is important to communicate, to train the younger researcher or even students to know what the problems are and how we can manage it. Now we will focus on the soil mission goals. There are 8 of them. The first is to reduce desertification. Second one, conserve and increase soil organic carbon stocks. Third one, to stop soil sealing and increase reuse of urban soils. Fourth, reduce soil pollution and enhance restoration. Then to prevent erosion, to improve soil structure, to enhance soil biodiversity. Seventh, reduce the EU global footprint on soils. And eighth, and most important, we are at the university right now, to improve soil literacy in society. We will go now in one by one, but why this is important, because if you are, Vladislava will also mention this, if you want to apply for the calls that are open, you need to respond to the one or more objectives of the soil mission. To reduce desertification is needed to help achieve land desertification naturally and to start restoration. On the other hand, to conserve and increase soil organic carbon stock is a twofold actually objective. On the one hand, this objective aims to reverse the trend of declining soil carbon losses from cultivated land, and is particularly addressing soils with declining of low carbon stocks. On the other hand, this objective applies to peatland and waterlands that can be a natural CO2 sink. The third one, third objective, no net soil sealing and increase the reuse of urban soils, aims to contribution towards meeting the target of no net land by 2050. The objective, reduce soil pollution and enhance restoration, primarily relates to the use of pesticide and the reduction of nutrient losses from soil and the release of microplastic to soils and secondary salination. We have 4 more to go. Water erosion is a problem, particularly on, but not solely on, agricultural soils. And according to the mission, baseline 70% of the area of land with unsustainable erosion rates is under agricultural land use, but the remaining 30% is used otherwise. So we can only imagine what that means. Sixth one, improve soil structure to enhance soil biodiversity. Aims to actually enhance habitat quality for soil biota and crops. The seventh, reduce the EU global footprint on soil, aims to establish the EU global soil footprint in line with international standards and to reduce the impact of EU's food. Finally, increasing soil literacy is to increase the awareness of the societal role and value of soil amongst EU citizens. But that is something that Nation Project is at this point focusing on the most. And this is the image from the mission implementation plan, and you can see how Living Labs benefit from all and contribute to the all operational objective in the mission. Living Labs and Lighthouses are the core element of the mission to accelerate the creation and uptake of solutions for healthy soils across different settings, as well as different geographical and socioeconomic context. The Living Lab and Lighthouses will have use of the soil monitoring law, and that will add a great value to the mission itself. Actually, the Living Labs and Lighthouses are ideal places for citizen engagement and for activities and practices to improve awareness and knowledge of soils. I hope that this wasn't so too much information in just few slides, but all the informations are also on our website and the Soil Mission website. So if there is some question, you can always contact us at Nations, or a little bit of I don't know how to say it, but you are free to really contact us. I will now give the floor to my colleague Vladislav, and she will go more on Living Labs and Lighthouses. Thank you, Vladislav.
It's fine. Thank you, Maria, and thank you, Arida. As Maria already said, I will now go and dive a little bit deeper into the Living Labs and Lighthouses, because they are very hot topic right now. So following up the focus on the soil health and Living Labs and Lighthouses, we are going to dive into the definition and also how to structure Living Labs and Lighthouses in the context of 2022 for calls. So we will provide you some examples. So as you can see here, so the Soil Health Living Labs are collaborative initiatives to co-create knowledge and also innovation. So Soil Health Living Labs are defined by the mission Soil, as you can see here. So user-centered, place-based, and transdisciplinary research and innovation ecosystem, which involves all land managers, scientists, and all other relevant partners in systematic research and co-design, testing, monitoring, and evaluation, and etc. So for example, for Living Labs contain several sites like farms and also forests and city parks and other regional and sub-regional levels. Also about the lighthouses, they are defined like individual site of explanatory performance. So those are the places for the demonstration and solution for training and actually communicating and doing the communication that are exemplary in their performance, and also in terms also on soil health improvement. The mission implementation plan defines setup criteria for selection and setup of Living Labs in context of the soil mission. So the criteria are classified in 4 main elements, as you can see here. For the aims refers to innovation, co-creation, and also formal learning. Also the activities, they require co-creation also in co-development and experimentation of innovation and improving soil health. Also research on impact and these innovation practices on ecosystems, networking, of course, and knowledge exchange and demonstration. As for the Living Labs, they should always include public and private people partnership, also real users, and demonstrations for the wider public and policy arena, and etc. And finally, the context, as you can see here on the slide, so multiple disciplines, so transdisciplinary, social scientists, methods, also there should be place-based approach and real-life context, and also robust scientific setup on ecosystem and assessment, and also there should be more focusing on the openness and the communication and the dissemination. More and more, we see several parties affected by the common problems, as you can see here, but they are not able to collaborate together and address all these problems because of the several barriers, including, as you can see here, language barriers, complex challenges that cannot be solved by a single stakeholder. Also, lack of trust between the stakeholders, different approaches. So those can be all the challenges. I will not go through all of them here, but in such a context, Living Labs are particularly important because they're environment where we can actually overcome these barriers and actually start working together. Yep. Good. So here we can expect what you can expect from the Living Lab. Living Lab focus on the joint value co-creation. So Living Labs are rapid prototyping and also testing and scaling up the innovations and businesses. So within the open innovation ecosystem, Living Labs use the feedback processes to quickly to quick prototyping testing and the processes and make project results so they could be quickly and entered to the market. As you can see here, cooperating in the Living Lab will help all the actors to become inspired by each other, to learn to think out of the box, to better understand each other, to accept all the differences, also to aim for the same goals, to contribute faster, to validate, and more, actually, in the more scalable results. So now we will talk a little bit how Living Labs can tackle many of the collaboration barriers. So, but what are the key elements of the Living Labs? So Living Labs are carried out in real life settings. So co-creating with large and multidisciplinary set of stakeholders, including managers, owners, or the very first moment. Also throughout the Living Labs, they support the rapid scale up innovations for technical and economical also impact, but also they help to better achieve and broad impact. Now you can see here how to ensure actually the correct application. It is important to consider the following elements, as you can see here. So Living Labs should be places of co-creation, co-design, co-implementation along validated. So the participatory, interdisciplinary, and transdisciplinary research and innovation approach should be always the center of the Living Lab. And also Living Lab should identify the business models to ensure the sustainability of the Living Lab on the long run. . Now we can speak a little bit about the scale and activities. So Soil Health Living Labs are place-based, and they are collaboration between multiple actors. So the Living Labs operate at a regional and sub-regional level, and also coordinate the experiments on the several sites within the regional, sub-regional areas, or working landscape. A lighthouse can be one of the many experimental sites of the Living Lab to extend the continuous in terms of let's say health improvement. Lighthouse also can be also be high performance site, not included actually in the Living Lab. So the table on the right, you can see the recap. This compares and contrasts on the scale types. So you can expect activities and desired performance in the soil health improvement. The soil health living labs could be also applied in different scales, so sub-regional and regional, always taking into the consideration of the common aspects that brings together all in the living labs. So living labs to tackle soil health needs to consider the local context and to address specific soil challenges and specific mission objectives. For this, also living labs could cut across the regional or sub or even national borders when this could make sense from the soil condition point of view. Just okay. So now we will go as we see now, the soil health living labs can be applied in the different scales. So this image displays the regional scale of living labs. On the map, on the right side, the common soil challenges are highlighted by the green color area. In this example, in this example, what we can see is that the living lab and its site is located in the green area that presents specific soil challenges. So also living lab could focus at the sub-regional focuses on open specific regional borders, as you can see in here. So you can have the multiple partners. A second. Yeah, it's fine. But as we already said, living labs also could cut across the administrative and geographical borders. In this last example, 2 or more regions within the same national border are affected by the common soil health challenges. So they are displayed in the map with the green color, as you can see here. And also, therefore, the living labs could be operated across the regional to address the common local soil health challenges. Mm-hmm. Yes. Similarly, when justified based on the soil conditions, it could be manageable from the administrative point of view. So living labs could cut across national borders. And in this last example, 2 adjusted regions with different countries are affected by the common soil health challenges. So represented on the right map there with the green color, and then it will address only the cross-border collaboration, and 2 can also be cooperating in a different countries. That's fine. Also within the living lab soil health, each proposal is expected to have 1 project, a consortium, 4 to 5 living labs with their representatives, partners, multiple sites and lighthouses, and also they should be already identified. So according to the mission implementation plan, Living Labs should always involve 10 to 20 experimental sites. However, depending on the site context, there could be land users, soil challenges addressed, and etc. Also, applicants can propose a living lab with a fewer experimental sites, but always please consider the main common element, bringing living labs together so they can collaborate on the soil health issues that are relevant and also in the regions where they operate. So this common element and any other commentary does need to be explained in very clearly in the proposal. Explain how, actually we should explain how the work undertaken will contribute, and also more about the mission specific objectives. So now, in line with that, Living Lab can focus on the same mission specific objectives. So different land use types like agriculture, industrial land use types, also and other land use types, which will be explained a bit later. Also, another option is that Living Labs within the consortium focus on the different soil health issues, affecting the same land across the Europe, and also Living Labs could also focus on the same objective, and the land use, but they have different focus for instance, different, for example, local needs. As you can see, finally, we would like to stress the importance of the Living Labs being set up at regional, sub-regional level, taking into the consideration that the local context where the work of the Living Lab would be carried out. It is essential to always highlight and properly present the applications, the common aspects within the sites of the Living Lab, as well as within the Living Labs of the project. So detailing how coordination and activities across the Living Lab will be established. Just a second. We see before cross-country Living Labs could be justified. These applications has limits. So as you can see here, the image, it is important to prevent the cross-regional unjustified scope. And in the case of the remote sites, it is very important to explain the management and the involvement of the co-creation of the activities. Okay, we will now speak a little bit about the types of the Living Labs. So types of Living Labs following no soil mission. Nations always consider main types of the soil health. So agricultural, urban, forestry, industrial. And in nations, we also provided several fact sheets on the EU soil mission, like Living Labs and Lighthouses for soil health, that can help you to get a more proper understanding on the Living Labs calls and topics and the specificities of the Living Labs. We invite you also to take a look at that about the funding opportunities. There are also fact sheets in the different land use types. So we have agricultural land use, we have forestry land use, and also we have, oh, there's a mix-up with the slides. We have the urban land use types and also post-industrial land use. As essential characteristic of the Living Lab methodology is a user-centric approach. This approach requires the involvement of the relevant actors and also the end users. In line with the nature of the Living Labs, proposals must be implemented in the multi-actor approach. So the list of the actors may vary depending on the features specific to each living lab, and also can involve different types of the actors, such as researchers, landowners or land managers, industry, SMEs, etc., public administration representative, and etc. and etc. This case should be taken into the capabilities, roles, and also, as you can see here, the quadruple helix is a visual concept, and that facilitates the identification of the multiple partners of the living lab that should bring together. So the specific actors involved in the living lab will change depending on the focus and the objectives of the living labs. So the quadruple helix model, which is the extension of the typical public-private partnership, is a model map to be used and usual in stakeholders in the living labs. Also, we can go through all of them. Academia, for example, could be universities, researchers, research and development centers, and etc. The public sector can be government, regional development, also policymakers, as well as the public sector in general. Industry can also consist of the business of all sizes and business clusters and associations. And the fourth of the quadruple helix is the citizen and civil society, including all end users as the consumers of their association. As mentioned earlier, actors in the living labs can vary depending on the focus objective. So when it comes to industry stakeholders, agricultural living labs deal with the farmers and landowners. For the urban soil type, landowners, managers, building and constructing professionals, and etc. Regarding forestry, the industry stakeholders are landowners and forest managers, forest companies, forest owners association, and industry. Finally, for the industrial, we have industrial landowners, developers, also environmental consultants, and SMEs. For the, as you can see here on this slide, for the government and the public sectors, the main stakeholders in general are authorities at the local, regional, and national levels. Also, as well as the land managers and the landowners. So regarding the urban living labs, the relevant participants are public authorities and private agencies. Also health authorities like epidemiologists and environmental managers for forestry, regulations, governmental organizations, and etc. And regarding the industrial, it is important to mention that all and regional administration environmental protection officers are spatial planners that might be beneficial from the living lab focuses. Okay.
I have seen that some participants are taking the photos of the presentation. We will send presentations in English and in Albanian after the event is done. So you know that you will have all the presentation access to all of them. So you don't need to worry.
Thank you, Maria. It's always good to catch the breath. Now I will continue with the academia. I forgot to change the slide. In terms of academia, the main stakeholders are, of course, researchers, also universities and research institutes. As you can see, we have provided some examples for the academia stakeholders per land use types. And finally, citizens and civil society and the users, the main stakeholders are NGOs, citizen groups, and local, regional, national movements. So for agricultural living labs, the focus is on the NGOs. The relevant stakeholders for urban living labs are also civic groups like associations and etc. Regarding the forestry, it is always important to mention that the NGOs and representatives are working in nature conservation protection organizations, and also in terms of the industrial living labs, it is relevant to mention citizens and citizen organizations and environmental organizations. You have here examples of the living labs. As you can see here, this is the project duration of the 54 months, as you can see. So support from the project partners outside the Living Lab, governance, business model, solutions, transferability, monitoring, communication, and engagement. You can see here that there are 5 project focuses also. So you have SO4, SO5, 6, and 8. So mainly use type in this living lab is permanent crops, grape, vines, olives, trees, and fruit crops. And also what they identified as a challenges, soil health challenges, so steep slopes, erosion, pollution, and also desertification. And this project duration is, as I already said, 54 months. Also, this is the other example of the funded living lab, also on the grassland. This project duration is 48 months. So you see the project focuses, and also main land use types are agriculture, so arable lands, permanent grassland, permanent crops, or grapes, wine, olives, trees, and fruits, and also soil health challenges, as you can see here in the slide. So water retention, fertilization use, compaction, soil structures, biodiversity, and etc. And it has 14 hectares, as you can see. Also VSTP, so 10 additional partners, and the soil health solutions to practice to include high quality inputs such as bioshare, bovine slurry, along with the crop desertification and covers. Now we have many initiatives are already working on the fields in the soil of Europe. So adopting a co-creation method in real life environments for improving the soil health. So the soil mission support about the Horizon 2020 project started to map several soil initiatives regarding the soil level to the mission and criteria for the soil health living labs. So this map is continued and expanded under the Prep Soil project. So we also invite you to look. You have you have here the link where you can go and register if you want your living lab and the Lighthouse initiative. So the map can be accessed on the Prep Soil EU website, or you can just click when you have these presentations. You can just click on this slide, and it will take you over there. Now, just to see, okay. In 2024, the Mission Soil call that will include 2 topics to fund about the Living Lab projects. So in this event, nations provides general information on these 2 topics and reflect the information given by the European Union as good as possible. However, those of you who continue to build on a project proposal, note that official source of the reference shall remain the 2023-25 Mission Work Program officially, and published by the European Commission on the 17th of April. As you can see here, nations will specifically support 2 topics. One is entitled Co-Creation Solutions for Soil Health in Living Labs. That's the topic 01 on soil health. And the another is entitled Living Labs in Urban Areas for Healthy Soils, and that's topic 02 on urban soils. So the deadline for the submission of the applicants within the work program for topics is October 8th, 2024. 5 p.m. Brussels time. So the submission is a type of a single stage, meaning that the full proposal is to be submitted at the submission, not the 10-page proposal at first, but the full proposal at once. Submissions take places electronically via funder and tenders portal submission system, and paper submissions are not possible. So both topics are research and innovation actions, meaning that the actor is covered by 100% funding. Each application should include 4 to 5 or more living labs that can address the same or the several land use types in at least 3 different member states or associated countries. So the living labs are individual site within each living lab that can be, for the example, urban green or industrial areas, enterprises, farms, forests, or other locations when work can carried out and be monitored under the real life conditions. It should always be clear from your applications why you establish your consortium, and in particular, what made the living lab selection. So describe the rationale for the cooperation across the various living labs. You may also consider carefully similarities or dissimilarities between the living labs in terms, for example, climate or land use or soil health challenges, mission objectives, and the stakeholders. So not only important to improve description of the rationale of your living lab selection, it is equally important to follow the multi-actor approach. That's the quadruple helix model. Living labs can involve actors from different backgrounds. Also, the list of the stakeholders may vary depending on the features to each living lab, but they should involve different types of actors. And also, you should think critically of which actors you should include. What could you do to overcome your soil health challenges? And also the stakeholders may very well be different from the others that you already agreed with you. So also you really need to think through, and we need to spend time on this and in our engagement session and define their roles in the future of the living labs. For your proposal, remember to describe the capabilities, the roles of the different partners involved, and also based on the areas of expertise. For example, some partners may lend conceptual work and coordinate work across the living labs, while others may focus on the conducting experiments, providing advice, testing, validating innovation solutions, and participating in actually each other's activities. Now I will go a little bit more about the topics. So the 0101 topic is set up as a living lab to work together on one and more soil health challenges to contribute on the soil mission objectives. And this is the indicative budget for this 0101 topic is 36 million euros. And it's expected to be 3 projects that will be funded. And also initiative focuses on the living labs, exclusively focused on the urban areas, and excluded from the 0101 topic as dedicated topic is open in the same call. The 0102 topic. And the focus is on the living labs under the topic 0102 should always remain on urban soils. So by doing so, the following specific objectives are particularly supported. So SO3, no net soil sealing and increase the reuse of the urban soils, as you can see here. Also SO4, to reduce soil pollution and enhance restoration. SO5, prevent erosion. and specific objectives of SOA to increase soil literacy in society across the member state. However, it cannot be excluded that even other objectives of the mission are touched upon while working on the urban soils. So the initiative budget of the 0102 topic is 12 million euros. And it's expected that 3 projects also will be funded. So the both topics applied to the Living Labs of your proposal may address several soil challenges in these challenges, and they're strongly related. So proposals should present a realistic combination of the limited selection and also different land use types of the number mission objectives that you saw, and they should be addressed, and also avoid too generic proposals. Your proposals should work undertaking your project, so you will contribute to one and more missions specific objectives. Here it is the importance to provide a baseline for the selected soil health challenges. The baseline is to allow to accurate assessment of the conditions and the change of soils in different sites, so you can monitor and progress towards the objectives of the respective living labs, actually, of the project overall. So this is the proposal template, as you can see here. Let me see this slide. So you can see here in which country the Living Lab is located, in which regions, what is the main land use in the Living Lab, which mission soil specific objectives will be mainly addressed, which soil health challenges will be tackled in the Living Lab. Also, sites that demonstrate a high potential can be converted to the lighthouses, and they've been identified in the same region. Also, which project partner is in the lead of the Living Lab, which type across the planning involved to the Living Lab. Are there already ongoing co-creation activities in some experimental sites? Indicate the approximate budget. Also, if you're planning to engage further actors and entities, they are not already involved as partners. So you should always indicate how many of each type, and also planning on a financial support to third parties. Now, what you should consider of your journey to being part of the lead of the submission of the application in this September. First of all, you need to identify your local soil health challenges, as we said multiple times today, and also relate to the challenge to the one or more soil mission objectives. So then you need to form or join a local living lab, and that living lab is formed of several sites at regional and also sub-regional levels, which may differ in land use, but also which the rationale for collaboration is also clear. With the Frisian Living Lab, you reach out to potential collaboration from a network of the Living Labs. So your international consortium, I repeat, the rationale for collaborations has to be clear. With this consortium, you work out of the project application. There are a number of tools and documents there accessible for you to consult and maybe to be inspired by, which you can take at different stages. So we'll introduce after you have maybe to talk over. Now we can just go here. And now I will give the floor to Erida again, because this is the time for the engagement. And thank you, but we will be here if you will have some questions for us. So Erida, please.
I have seen some questions on chat, so can we open the chat? I don't know if can we Okay, that's just the update. Okay, that's our. If anybody from Zoom wants to ask some question, please do. It is fine to interrupt us and ask question. Please, yeah, raise your hands if we can see that, and we will answer. Yes, Rita, please.
So this is our time that we can learn from you. So would you like to start with the slide, Maria? Okay. So you are welcome to scan it, and then we will go to the questions.
Also, Zoom participants, please join the slide. We have only 8 participants on a slide, so we will wait a little bit more. Well, 10. I can see the results. 11. We are fast. Okay. Maybe we will now go to the second one. Arita, what do you think?
So which of the challenges mentioned in the soil mission objectives can recognize in your own region in this country? So you can choose 3 answers. So we have 11 participants. If somebody, we can go further if you all finish your answers. Okay. So can you give an example of soil challenges that you have seen or experienced in your own region? You can type your answer and.
Some of the answers, there are a lot of constructions. Is that related to Tirana? At the moment, we could see some new buildings. Pollution, post-industrial site, language. Interest on this event, very low. I don't know what that means. Someone can explain. Erosion. We have 4 more typing, we will see. Issue include air and water pollution, poor waste management infrastructure and deforestation, land degradation because not used, language, urbanization of former green agricultural areas. Language, that means like, if you want to participate, you need to use English, if I can understand, okay? So, yes, yeah. There are some professionals who you can always hire someone who can help you with the language. I think that is maybe the solution for the first phase. Erosion of river beds, soil pollution by landfills. Wow, this is many people interested in this. Contamination from agriculture, plastic waste. I cannot agree more. No soil monitoring. Last year we were talking about this, yeah. Lack of data.
Yes, last year.
Mm-hmm.
How they have found that is a solution, but not really data that they could take some action about this.
I don't know, Arida, if they can hear you on Zoom.
They can.
I just okay. Oh, we have two more. Typing. We will wait. Then we will.
Though last year we as well has another guest that she introduced that how government is working on the mission of Europe, and there were a very good pets and as well a very good support from the government that they could follow up the mission.
Rita, try to. Is it working? Yeah. They cannot hear us very well, so we will. Can you hear us now? Better? Yeah.
They can hear now? Yeah.
No study available per each land. What's the best use? Institution strengthening on implementation of policies, yes. Using of a very steeply soil first cultivation of arable crops. Okay. We will go for the next one. Can you type? Can you see? А може да се видео? Innovative solution to raise awareness. Thank you. We will. Oh. Empowering the agriculture expert by sharing knowledge. Next one, we will. Agricultural soil pollution from pesticide users. Possibility to experiment prior to application, scaling of solutions. Bring innovation and provide solutions. Stakeholder engagement. We are trying to improve this and to engage more stakeholders. That's the reason why we are organizing events similar to this one in the 43 countries. So we are the part of 43 events like this one. In increasing of organic carbon in soil. Engagement through a bottom-up approach. Yeah, I'm glad that we convey some messages today. providing need assessment on national and local level for policy making. Okay. This is it. Oh, one. Used as authoritative body to provide topics for research. I don't know, Rita, what you think about this? Yes. Okay, I will. Rita, we can continue. You can take
Thank you
over.
very much for your involvement and engagement during and for giving this very good suggestion and tips for why not even in the elaborating on the next steps. So we will go to this. We will open a discussion. So these are some questions that we can just drive to you, or we can. Okay, I can just make it in Albanian. You can just lead, or you can just choose one of the topic that we can discuss about. For instance, now we are talking about the objectives of the mission and what kind of soil do we have in Albania, and you can just inform or let us know about your experience. So we can go to the, you can choose one, I can read for you. Cila është gjendja e përgjithshme e shëndetit të tokës mjedisin tonë kombëtar? Si mendoni juve? Çfarë mund të na sugjeroni nga ekspertiza ose nga përvoja juaj personale? Cilat janë disa nga sfidat e përmendura në objektivat e misionit që ne mund të identifikojmë për Shqipërinë? Dhe a keni ndonjë shembull që ju mund të ndani me neve? Shiron dikush?
Thank you, Arida. So I'm not quite expert in the soil, but still I have some opinions based on my previous experience regarding the soil conservation. And from my understanding, so depending, as we have already discussed before, so we're talking for the soil at urban level or at rural level. In the rural level, still, I have an understanding that the soil erosion is a current phenomenon, at least in Albania. And this is because of poor sustainable agriculture techniques, which is used widely in the rural areas. Farmers still are not quite aware about more recent technologies in order to not harm the environment and the soil. And as well, I would suggest that we have we have as well to engage as well as from the answers institutions, municipalities or agriculture institutions, who has to bring more innovation. And for instance, we have extension agriculture services in Albania, which has to be or has to play advisory role with the farmers, with other citizens in rural area, but still this is lacking. So I think soil erosion, but connected as well with a kind of lack of advisory role from the institutions in this perspective. So this is one of the topics, and another one is about desertification. So climate change now is present here and has a quite extreme effect on the soil and on the environment. So I think this is as well a challenge for Albania at least. And in the urban level, soil is more affected from the waste, poor waste management, which brings contamination on the groundwater and the soil, but as well, let's say informal or let's say construction activities in the urban, which has as well effect on the soil. So these are the two major concerns I would share for this question. Is anyone, or this is the only question, right?
Yep. Oh, so does somebody want to elaborate, or does somebody want to enlarge this discussion, or we can go to the second topic? Okay. Zoom. Okay. Shohim që se ka një komunikim në Zoom? Yeah. Okay. Yes, thank you.
English, yes. Okay, good. All right. Well, I tried to connect to previous speaker or let's say discussion and opening up some ideas as well. I know that there is assessment done on local level, which they are doing some risk map assessment. Part of it is as well risk erosion of landslides, etc. So, all risks and hazards may come to pollute the lands, chemical, let's say, technical, let's say, technological hazards, etc. Which all these, I guess, need to be taken into consideration when it comes to study, let's say, the soil, what's the best use of it, etc. I think having these maps, GIS maps, it's very best as well for investors, but as well big investors which want to invest land in Albania, and they know what kind of land is there, what's the risk involved there, etc. So this should be part of the studies, and I think of this initiative as well. And having, so this goes to a risk assessment. And then it goes, the other part of the story, it's when there is a hazard happening, real-time events. If there is a system or platform to have early warning systems, we know that in Korcha, for example, or others parts, they have, let's say, a suddenly change of the weather, rainings, etc. So this damage as well the soils, but as well other, let's say, agriculture, let's say, products is there. So involving sensors and systems and awareness and doing risks and using historical data, all this I think can be very useful to the topic. So I don't know, this would be good to discuss with other agencies in Albania, with Institute of Geoscience, there's ASIG, Institution of Geospace in Albania, which all these data, all stakeholders can come together and can be useful to the topic. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Arion, for the information. It's very valuable, and it's very appreciated that we can as well share with our experts as well, people that already has signed in this event, that we can share this information, and as well, it could be good who is going to apply for on this project. So it could be an additional value when they are going to write and when they are going to be part of, because as far as you say, this project is a Balkans region, or?
Well, there are initiatives which are local level, but what I know in Balkan level, yes, all municipalities. Okay, Albanian, switch it. As I know that this is all municipalities are doing this risk maps, let's say hazards, on local level. So they are figuring out which are the lands in each municipality possession, and what the risk involved there, what's the land there, what's the soil in there, so what is compound of it, and everything. But they're using it mainly for risk assessment. But this can be relevant as well for this project. So all Balkans are doing it. So it's part of EU legislations, and DGs are working, DG NEAR, DG ECHO. So they are all working on these topics, and all are trying to have these legacies on how they manage risks mainly, but can be relevant to this. Yeah, so I think this approach can be on regional level as well. Yes, and there's platforms to monitor and provide early warning systems. Yes, I know that there are initiatives on a regional level. I know that this is a Balkan regional early warning system, which goes for civil protection agencies in all regions mainly, but Albania, Kosovo, Montenegro, I guess, North Macedonia, but as well, they can be joining these kind of projects. And yes, having this purpose as this project is here involved not only on these early warning systems, not only for managing the risks for the population and for assets, but as well for agricultural lands or urban lands, as per this project can be beneficiary as well. Yes, following up, I can provide some contacts to some of these projects and can have some piloting phase on this. Thank you.
Really, really appreciate. Thank you very much. So
I just want to respond. You just mentioned North Macedonia and Pristina or Kosovo. We are also organizing this event in Skopje at next week. Is it next? 13th of June. So we will all be, I mean, the stakeholders that are in this topic. We will engage all those, I will wait for the motorbike to go away. It is good to use this opportunity because we are all aware in the Balkan region about this initiative, to contact maybe directly the stakeholders from the region and to try to do something together. It is much easier to do it like together than in separate ways, and we all share the same land, so the problems are similar, and so this is a good opportunity to start maybe conversation and to meet some new partners.
I guess, yes, I'm all ears, and I see we can provide the contacts. I know that the main stakeholders, so from water management agencies in the region have been met, statistical cadastre. I know we mentioned North Macedonia. Now there's a project cross-border with Albania, Librajt from this city, from this side, outside North Macedonian city. IPA, I think, cross-border project, which they have provided for a forest fire monitoring system, which have thermal cameras to protect the forest there. So this can be a good piloting, which can be useful as yes. Okay, it's really good to have joining forces and see, let's say, irrelevant projects, but they can make sense if we put together. Yeah, thank you.
It could be a very good synergy, why not, between the participants and to use your data. So the second discussion is about the Living Labs as a definition from the European Commission that already we introduced to you. And we would like to go to two topics, to know some more about examples of the Living Labs. And we already mentioned in the slide some of the positive aspects. So what do you think about? Who could make the impact? Who could make the actions? And if you have already some example about the Living Labs in Albania, so please feel free to share with us. And if there are some challenges, what do you suggest, or what do you think how we can overpass it? So what is your suggestion?
I expect that suggestion will come by the time, yes.
Yeah, as already Maria introduced to you, that we are going to share this presentation in both languages. So during that time, after you have this information or after you elaborate some of the questions, feel free to share with us. Yeah.
To the question, if there is labs like this, I think Albania, probably, I don't know all of them, but I know few of them which are small in size, so they are not like really serious, but yes, they can scale. They definitely can scale up. So I have to find the names of who are working there, and I know that they are really passionate about these labs. We're trying to work with different and working the gens and try them, and if the successful, let's say, seeds coming out of it, so how they can use it and recommend other farmers. So it is really good. But a huge one, not in Albania, but in regional, I know that it's one in Novi Sad. Yes, there is really great. So yeah, it can be a good example to share with us. Yeah, thank you.
Something because from my understanding about living labs in Albania, they might have some few initiatives to establish some living labs. But what I see the main challenge here is about sustainability. We can establish living labs, for instance, to come together farmers for agriculture extension services or municipality or other stakeholders in the same place to provide and to discuss about how they can tackle different challenges through solutions. But when it comes to sustainability, how this lab, for instance, can be operational after the project, this is something that has to be discussed, because we have living labs, which, you know, we have a project, we establish living labs, and when the project is over, there is no more living lab. So now I think when organizations, or even I have part of such initiatives before, it's good to discuss about the vision, how this living lab can be sustainable even after the project is over. So this is very important. And that's why for such initiatives, they have to involve public institutions in that, maybe some other donors or other finance institution, who at least can try to make it alive, you know, this is something. But I mean, this is, I see from my perspective on this. Thanks. Yeah.
And I guess, yes, Ministry of Agriculture can be a really good actor there. So to boost and to motivate and provide, so let's say, necessary, let's say, motivation for this to work further. Thank you.
That's the reason why we need to include all the partners with range of the, I mean, even policymakers to be sure that you can provide sustainability in the future when the project ends. Okay, Rita?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Actually, I think it's a matter of definition, because as you also stated quite well, the Living Lab is the opportunity to experiment on something on a very concrete context, right? So, and as the colleagues mentioned, probably there are many of these cases. For sure, universities do conduct research, and in most of the cases, they do that on very concrete contexts, okay? It could be a lab that covers landscape design or land use, or even planning labs. Then if you would go dive deeper into topics such as agriculture, they also do it. It's just, I mean, what I like very much also in your presentation is the fact that this should be opened up to the other stakeholders, should be opened up to the private sector, into the government, of course, to the government to set up instruments how the successful cases could be further scaled up. But the engagement of the private sector is crucial, because they are the ones that might benefit the most, and put the budget into that, so that the ideas and experiments that are coming out from the researchers or whoever joins the lab could actually serve and benefit them. So this is actually what should be probably tackled a little bit more. And in the future, in the upcoming presentation, I'll also show one case of this Living Labs. But if you allow me, I have a question. Like, I also saw the project itself, and there is a myriad of partners actually implementing the project. How would the participants from Albania benefit from that wider network of partners over there? If you could be a little bit more explicit, also helpful for them to kind of get a better perception of the project itself. Thank you.
I'm not sure if I understand. You mean how the partners from the Albania can benefit from the
network of partners that are actually implementing the nation's
where is the
project.
slide?
I saw also from the website, and also the roll-up shows that basically.
Oh,
The
okay.
myriad of partners
Yeah,
over there,
well,
which is based diverse, so universities, private sectors,
yeah, well,
and
that
so.
depends. I mean, well,
Okay. That was for I mean, we can when you already asked, we can cover this now. So yeah.
we have this matchmaking session. Maria will now explain a little bit about that. We wanted to do that a little bit later, but anyways, if you raise the question, so we will do it now. I mean, everybody can benefit, and you can just use the matchmaking platform. Maria, will you go now?
Would you like to? Yeah, I wanted just to explain what are, yeah. So just by scanning it, you can see that one of the direct tool how you can build your networking is the matchmaking opportunities. And you can already see that there is a pool. First of all, you have to register yourself, and you have to decide what you are. You know what you are. But so you have to be part of an expert, or you are part of agriculture stakeholders. So you just choose your status, and then you can understand that you can see as well the application points that then you can be part of the platform. So once you are part of the platform,
you can matchmaking with the similar professionals, and as well we mentioned, for instance, the case that there is the barrier of language, and there you can find an expert from your area that you can as well apply together with him, or you can ask his consulting to be part of the application. So this is one of the direct tools. It's not just this, but this is the direct tool that you can have it. And as well, during this platform, you will have information about the fact sheets, about the workshop, about the webinars, about the consulting session. So there will be, as we mentioned, that in the second call, you have as well the direct support from the Nation project. So on this platform, you will have all these services or supports.
Yes, I will add more support that the Nation is offering to the everybody interested. So, so the first step was the still engagement events. We did last year 43, and this year we are also doing 43 countries and 43 events similar like these. Then we promote matchmaking platform that you can register at, and that means that, I mean, from 43 countries, they are already registered interested parties in this topic. So you can find partners there, or someone to consult, to offer, or to ask for the partnership. Also, we already mentioned the fact sheets that are available on our website. Also, we have one part at the website help desk, where you can find list of mentors that you can contact in case that you have some questions regarding the calls and how Living Labs should be. Also webinars, we organize webinars, and you will find the information about those webinars on our website or on our social media accounts. So I would ask you to follow us on the social media, LinkedIn and X. So yeah, thematic events, webinars, it's all available on our website. I believe that my colleagues from Trust IT already said links in a chat, but you will get this presentation and you will have access to all tools. Here is the, okay, can I see what is there? Can you show me the chat? Okay, so yeah, we would also like to invite you to the matchmaking event that we are organizing on 11 and 12 of June. So you can register through the website, similar like you register for this event, and it would be very useful for everybody interested in matchmaking, how it works and what it can offer. Also, you can use this opportunity to present yourself and your organization and present what you can offer and what you are looking for the establishing of Living Labs. So you can share all this information with within your organization or the organization that you think that can benefit from all of this. Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to add something. The events will be on the 11th, on the 12th, and they will cover on the 11th 0101 topic, and on the 12th there will be 0102 topics. So if you prefer, but I also suggest maybe you should follow all of this, and then you can meet whoever there from the mentors and also from the matchmaking platform.
So Albona was everything. We can elaborate more about this question. So this is all from our side, and this is all about the concrete case studies from the project in itself. But this is just starting. We are open for every question in today or in the coming days. You are feel free to write to us. But this is a very good opportunity about Albanians stakeholders that they can apply in these two calls. And as you saw, there is a very the budget, it was very very good. And you can as well have this opportunity to exchange and to increase your capacity and to know much more about how to improve this mission of Europe, which in itself is not just about Europe, it's about improving our daily life. So thank you very much for the first session. We already are closing the first session here, and we will see how Albanian case studies are working on this direction. I really appreciate to welcome our speakers. So I see we are almost on time for everything. It's okay for you? So thank you very much for being here. Today we have the expert from Albania that we have invited different stakeholders. We have Imirion Peza, which is from the ACSI, National Agency of Science, Research and Innovation. Imirion Peza. We have Valbona Kochi. Thank you very much for being with us from EU for Innovation. Is an advisor for quadruple helix approach promotion. And Ilir Salilari, welcome, director of the Center for Agri-Technology Transfer in Albania, and as well Mavis, that is from ETMI Albania, partner of the project Remedies. Thank you very much for being here. Okay, so Imirion, your floor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Erida. It's good to be here. I'm just going to do a very trying to kind of be as aware of time as possible for everyone. So I will do an overview of both Horizon Europe, move on to like the current situation and some of the Albania's successes in Horizon Europe, and of course we'll touch up last on Nasri's or ACSI's current work with Horizon Europe. So all right, so just a simple overview. Horizon Europe is the framework program for research and innovation of the European Union, which has started in the beginning of 2021, taking over from Horizon 2020, and will continue to run until the end of 2027. It is a very ambitious, to say the least, program with with a budget of almost 100 billion, 95.5 billion euros, and its main aims or objectives are pretty much to strengthen the EU's tech and science basis and the European research area, to boost Europe's innovation capacity, and of course to deliver on what priorities the citizens of the EU have, and of course to sustain EU's values. This is pretty much in a nutshell the Horizon Europe structure, and as you can see, it goes the main it is structured in a pillared format. So it's the first pillar is part of excellent science, including the European Research Council, the Marie Skłodowska-Curie Actions, which is one let's say mini program which supports doctoral candidates and postdoctoral candidates in individual fellowships. So it helps them create not only connections with their peers and colleagues, but also helps support their own research. Research infrastructures, which deals mostly with the actual, the touchable, the tangible infrastructure for research and how to support it. The pillar 2 is the largest, and as far as funding goes, but also in a sense it's also the largest because it's where I think the main onus of the Horizon Europe is placed, and it's divided in thematic clusters, in 6 thematic clusters, which I will touch up a little. I will talk about more in the next slides. The pillar 3 is dedicated to Innovative Europe, which is in a sense bringing together the stakeholders, the different stakeholders that work in innovation and research. As part of the quadruple helix, meaning not just government, but so civil society, research organizations, universities, and of course SMEs, which are, I think, this pillar tries to get SMEs as involved as possible in not only making research and innovation, let's say simply as part of research, or simply a theoretical dimension, but also a practical dimension, something which brings in tangible results, and of course which can be put into the market and can be spread, of course, wider. The Horizon Europe also has a horizontal dimension, if you like, which is the widening participation and strengthening of the European research area, and this dimension is geared specifically to countries, not just countries in the European Union, but also countries, let's say associated countries, which are countries which are candidates to aspire candidates to the European Union, and supports them through participation in spreading their excellence and reforming and enhancing not just the EU's research and innovation, but also their own. So trying to bring them as close as to the European Union as possible. Okay. This is like an overview of pretty much how the the Horizon Europe budget is structured, a breakdown. And as you can see, the second pillar, which is the global challenges and European industry complexes, takes up, let's say, more than half of this of the funding for this framework program. Oh, whoops. Okay, so just a little bit deeper into each of the pillars. So as I said, excellent science is reinforcing and extending the excellence of European science base. It works through the three main programs: the European Research Council, which does frontier research by the best researchers and their teams, the MSCA, equipping researchers with new knowledge and skills through mobility and training, and research infrastructures, which does an integrated and interconnected world class of research infrastructures. The second pillar works through the 6 thematic clusters. And its main aim is to basically boost key technologies and solutions of EU policies and connected also to the Sustainable Development Goals. The third pillar, which is the Innovative Europe, it actually sort of, it's geared to stimulate in market, as I said, market creating breakthroughs and ecosystems that are conducive to innovation. And it does this through the European Innovation Council that supports these innovations and breakthroughs, and from start to market insertion. The European innovation ecosystems that connects regional and national innovation actors, and the European Institute of Innovation and Technology, which in a sense brings key actors together around the common goals of nurturing innovation. Not sure if you can all see this. This is the, I would like to, in a sense, stay here a little bit, because the widening horizontal pillar concerns Albania as well. Albania is a beneficiary of several quite a number, but not inconsiderable number of projects which are part of the widening and participation pillar. And of course, some of the benefits, or let's say some of the actions of this pillar are done through the teaming, the twinning and area chairs, matchmaking services. Of course, this dimension supports matchmaking services of different stakeholders. The brain circulation and the exchange of knowledge and transfer of knowledge. On the other side, what I can actually stress is support to actual national contact points, NCPs, which are the main points of contact regarding Horizon Europe information dissemination, and but not only, also are the main focal points, let's say, for different stakeholders to know and to get involved with Horizon Europe. But not only, because this also supports international cooperation. Also, there's this is comes with support to policymakers or to institutions, to different institutions about enhancing the European research area. Just I would like to move on to some figures about Albania's results in well, in Horizon Europe and the previous iteration, the previous framework programs. And if you can actually see at the moment, there's 40, if you can actually notice the Horizon Europe ones, which is there's 41 winning projects currently at the moment. And if you can actually compare that with the previous framework program, which was Horizon 2020, the whole program had 53 winning projects. And we are only, let's say, halfway through the program. So there is forecast, let's say, or the estimate is that we would go, this program will probably go gather twice the winning projects of the previous one. And some figures about the contribution for each of the different framework programs. And as you can see, the Horizon 2020, in its duration, we had a contribution for all projects of 5.8 million. And at the moment, there's let's say, match that figure in Horizon Europe at 5.78. So, and as I said, there is a forecast of that figure going at least twice. That's the current figure, the current data. When it comes to success rates, of course, because of the slowdown of the pandemic, there was a fairly, let's say, low success rate meaning projects or project proposals which were submitted and the ones which were actually selected, and so as winning as successful proposals, and the ones which were then funded. So, and that success rate was at 6.87, which was still higher than the EU average then. Whereas as it stands now, that success rate is still, it's made like quite a jump of twice the figure for Horizon 2020, and it's still higher than the actual EU average. So that, in a sense, attests to an increase of not only in the number of proposals submitted by Albanian institutions, by Albanian different applicants, but also an increase in the quality of the proposals. Okay. And just some of the top participants or the top, let's say, grantees who have received, who have winning proposals, who are in Horizon Europe. And of course, as you can see, the University of Tirana is at the top right there. And if universities and research organizations account for about 65% of all funding in Horizon Europe, so they take quite a big chunk of that. The rest of it is divided through SMEs, public bodies, public institutions, and other institutions which don't fall under those 4 different sectors. I wanted to move on to just provide like a suite of different projects that Nasri is currently a beneficiary of. The NCP Wide Area Net is actually a project under the widening dimension, and it has started in April of 2022, and it is a 3-year project. It will run until the 31st of March 2025. And its main aims are to support the capacity and effectiveness of the national contact points for this for wide area. And of course, this is mostly geared to low-performing member states and associated countries. Another aim would be to support international networking and coordination, of course, and improve the quality of proposals that that institutions send through better access to better access to services provided by NCPs. And of course, it identifies and shares good practices with the NCP community and raises the standards and of support provided by NCPs to applicants. Just some activities that have taken place and also are ongoing, which are part of this project, which is does workshops on proposal preparation, info days, of course, brokerage events and area knowledge days, of course, meetings for NCPs to train and of course exchange ideas and exchange information, matchmaking and travel grants, which involves, for example, research managers or research administrators to try to get as connected as possible with their own peers from different say universities in the European Union, or to in a sense build capacities as well. Of course, this project also has its own website, which has also a portal for NCPs and applicants from widening countries, and it also provides financial support to third parties and through the Advancing Europe package. The next project I will touch on is called the Policy Answers. It focuses mostly on research and innovation policy and governance systems, which also covers the different aspects of education, culture, youth, and sports. And among some of the objectives, it helps to organize policy dialogues through ministerials and steering platform meetings. It carries out different analytical activities, such as mapping of relevant institutions, programs, and initiatives. It provides coordination on capacity building and pilot actions in the Western Balkans to contribute to the region's EU integration process. It designs informed policy recommendations and sends them to decision makers in the region, implements regional pilot activities, and also supplies an information hub, which is also like a central website for information about research and innovation activities and programs in the region. all these activities are also implemented by a group, by a consortium of stakeholders, and from the Western Balkan regions, but also beyond. Moving on to the CEREM-5 project, which is funded by the European Commission of course, under the Horizon Europe framework. And it's mainly based on the concept of security in research, which is something that is always worth noting, because research itself may also be misused, or may also be used in immoral ways. So the need to also have this dimension of security in research is also important. And this project also does capacity building and mutual learning for NCPs of this dimension, provides high quality service to applicants, to the countries as well, and also provides new ways of networking, as that is very very useful as well, and also provides impact assessments and policy feedback. Just some of the activities that some of the current and past activities that the project has actually done. Brokerage events, of course, European info days and training of stakeholders, and of course, printing and disseminating information to stakeholders. So this is the last one. And it's the ERA Talent platform for the ERA Talent platform, for career development of researchers in Europe, which started in March 2023, and it is an ongoing and 36-month-long project. It is a coordination and support action, which means it needs to work as a part of a consortium. And its aim is to support the implementation of the new European Research Area communication, and also develop services provided by existing networks. And this also helps to support, of course, the career development of researchers. This is the main aim of this project, and expanding their career growth through academia, industry, and business. And just some of the goals, of course, which I touched up earlier upon. But its main, let's say, activities are to set up 5 virtual hubs that act as one-stop shops based on multidisciplinary teams, cross-country and cross-border coordinated structures for talent management. Supports career development, of course, for talented researchers. Extends services to among research program operators. And of course, reforms the expanding services of the existing networks and NCPs. I think just some useful links, which you can peruse, you can go into in your own time. Of course, the EU funding and tenders portal, which is in a sense the main portal for applicants and stakeholders to get information about the different calls, different open calls, to get information about previous projects and data there as well. The Horizon dashboard is also a repository of project results, of country profiles, and it also has profiles for potential partners that Albanian stakeholders might want to team up with to when they send their project proposals. And also cost, which is another useful platform, and not just a platform, but it is a useful networking platform for researchers, which is, in a sense, acts as an actual stepping off point for researchers to create create the right networks, which will help them later on when applying for Horizon Europe. Absolutely. So sorry I took so long.
I feel like that's a little bit on this one. Thank you. I've been so often in emails that Emilion has been sending to us, but we never met in person. So nice to meet you also in person. Yeah, actually, it's a little bit of a challenge. How could my presentation now fit to your discussion, the soil? But as it also mentioned, it's probably the idea to bring examples what other players are also doing in Albania in the framework of the global challenges that EU has, basically. Decarbonization, better soil, more participation, more collaboration, and some other keywords that will be also mentioned here. So I take the opportunity to shortly, yes? I take the opportunity to shortly also present EU for Innovation program. Yes? Yeah, I have that. Sorry. Thanks. No, it's okay. Just go by, huh? Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. So, next, yeah. It's basically EU-funded program, meaning has multiple donors, basically. It's mainly funded by EU, but additional funding is coming from Germany. So BMZ, it's the Ministry for Development, as well as Sweden government via SCiDEV. And it's implemented by two organizations in Albania, which are GIZ and SCiDEV, or the Swedish embassy, for duration of 42 months. Actually, we still have some work to do until next 2023. So as I mentioned earlier, these are basically the partners that work on the program. And the purpose of this program is to support the government of Albania in the field of economic development by accelerating the country's economic transformation into an innovation-driven, knowledge-based economy, leveraging mostly on the Albanians' human capital, entrepreneurial and research potential. How could this be a little bit further explained? Okay, sorry. So the specific objective is, of course, to support Albania and to basically increase the competitiveness of Albanian economy in the region and wider, to strengthen the partnership between private sector and government and academia, basically. So really build an innovation ecosystem, so to say. Well, that was already mentioned here. So it's basically supporting the development of the startup innovation ecosystem in Albania. And in that framework, of course, the stakeholders are multiple. So of course, we work with universities, as the belief is that universities are the first place or cradle where you could actually trigger innovation, you could trigger research that serves the society. Of course, we have to work with the government. In our case, we have line ministries that we work with, but it also extends further to local governments as well. Key partners is definitely the private sector, as I also mentioned a little bit earlier, and the civil society. And then diving a little bit deeper into what exactly the players in these four spheres would be, we work closely with the so-called incubators or accelerators, which are institutions that provide technical assistance to startup development in all the stages. With the financial organizations, because for startups, for research, and for novelty to actually be presented into the market, you definitely need financial support and systemic, ideally, so that the government financial institutions could really deal with that and have it a more structured approach, also looking now into the angel investment topic and the like. We work with additional development organizations because it's core to also widen a little bit the partnership and the collaboration with other partners in the media to disseminate information. Very quickly, I mean, since the name of the program is EU for Innovation, the program works a little bit similar to the life cycle of the startup. In the startup, as we know, I mean, first it's an idea, so it's the pre-ideation phase. It's ideas that might really get born among youngsters, even pre-university students or even wider. And then as a program, we try to engage with the key stakeholders and work as co-creator of this. So support incubation programs, acceleration programs to also validate the MVPs, meaning the minimum viable products, so that they could be brought into the market. Of course, EU for Innovation tries to also support the growth of selected startups that have scalability options and really bring breaking through innovation or services into the market. And this is basically what the program in a nutshell wants to do. But the way how it is structured is similar to all the other typical EU for Innovation, EU programs. We have a core output which deals with the capacity development for the startups and innovation ecosystem. So as I mentioned earlier, we work closely with incubators, accelerators, universities, and all entities that provide capacity building to the players. The second output, it's about improvement of access to finance for Albanian startups. This is one of the outputs that is implemented both by GIZ as well as SCiDEV. So SCiDEV has an instrument that is called the Challenge Fund. Basically, it's direct funding and grants to the startups that have an innovative idea with a proper process of application and selection, while GIZ is really trying to tap into the topics of angel investors or more systemic investment for the startups in Albania. The third output that I will dive a little bit deeper today because of the topic of your meeting, actually, it's the quadruple helix being in action and what it means to us. And then Horizon Europe, as Imrian also mentioned, as a new perspective for the Albanian ecosystem actors. And last but not least, EU for Innovation tries to promote Albania as a destination for innovators, for digital nomads, for players into the ecosystem that could also benefit from Albania, from exchanges, but also tries to promote the Albanian ecosystem internationally, so via supporting their participation in events, conferences, fairs, and so on and forth. As I mentioned earlier, I'll just dive a little bit into the one of the outputs, which has to do with the quadruple helix approach and the Horizon Europe. And that's because, as everybody in this room mentioned, if we really want to drive innovation and to get access to the Horizon Europe funds, the collaborative approach is basically at the core. So we need to bring the stakeholders together, academia, government, industry, and the civil society. And EU for Innovation tries to also apply this logic in the all outputs that we have. And just to give you some instances of just sparkles of what we are actually doing into this one, it's three main core sub-pillars of this output. The first one focuses a little bit more into the promotion of entrepreneurial innovative thinking as a skill set for future talents. So as mentioned earlier, you need to really affect the culture meaning to drive innovation and to bring entrepreneurship at the core, not only universities, because it might be a little bit late. So we're trying to really work closely also with the pre-university educational organizations such as high schools as well as vet schools. The second pillar, it's purely supporting the participation of Albanian stakeholders in more Horizon Europe programs, so working closely also with the agency, with NASRI, as well as the ministry. And the third output, it's actually trying to apply this. So how do we support Albania or the Albanian governments and local governments in the green and the digital transition? What would be some steps and concrete actions that we need to take? And I'll also show one example per each. So it might sound like, what would you do among youngsters? But it was quite interesting that a year ago, we initiated a program that we called Innovet. So it stands for Innovation in Vet, where we opened a call to interested parties that would come with proposals in a team of at least 3 actors. So organizations, civil society organizations working in the field of education, especially of those working and be interested in working to green transition, green skills, digital skills and the like among youngsters. They would work with one vocational education training center or school and universities. And the results were amazing. So the objective of this project was, like, first of all, to promote entrepreneurship among youngsters, to introduce definitely new forms of collaboration, especially for the vet sector, beyond the businesses, because normally they have this strong collaboration because of the practices and so on and forth, but they never worked with universities or organizations alike. And then, of course, to also bring more innovative methodologies to the vet teachers and instructors, how they could actually teach this continuously among youngsters. So we had amazing results. Basically, we selected 5 of these projects that are working separately, but also together. And so all the schools are in 4 different cities in Albania, starting from Shkodra, that is focusing on hospitality sector, in Korça, construction, in Tirana, also Karl Gega, which is a construction school, and Endurus, which is also multiple professionals. So it was basically amazing to see that this many players, we had all in all 15 organizations working together, ideally with some impact. So not only we are aiming to have over 1,000 or even more youngsters introduced to innovation and entrepreneurship via small interventions and courses, extracurricular activities and competitions, but also out of this we got to know that there was also over 20 or 25 business ideas that evolved, so among youngsters actually, and that was amazing. And some of these cases also introduced the so-called Living Labs. So basically they tested something, worked with the vet students, university professors, helps them into building robotic arms and the like. So it was also quite a positive, as you see here, it was actually quite positive initiative. And just to bring this back into how it serves you for innovation, remember I told you we as a program aim to work as the startup cycle develops. So of course we aim to have more people informed about entrepreneurship and innovation in schools, in universities and the like. So on a figure of 4,000 people, and then the lower you go with the funnel, the more impactful startups you have at the end. So this initiative actually was covering this part of youth innovation, activating players of the ecosystem. Talking about Horizon Europe, Imrion provided a very thorough introduction of it, and there is no more need to dive deeper, but basically it's just going back to the logic that if we want to have excellence, if we really want to have innovation, we need to foster partnerships and to facilitate collaborative links between the key stakeholders. We need to dive deeper into and tackling societal challenges, or challenges that matter to all of us, like the cities, like the soil, like the water, like the oceans and the like. Of course, the guiding instruments are there, like the green and the digital transition. Of course, these documents, these papers that are developed by you are becoming our, so to say, the guiding tools for developing initiatives. And all in all, so all about EU for Innovation is actually, it's about capacity building, it's about developing skills and having more, acquiring more EU funds. It's about matchmaking of the quadruple helix actors and having an economy that is now finally led by innovation and knowledge, not simply industry or sectors that could actually lead to somewhere. So what we are also doing is to work hand in hand, or similar to what NASRI is doing, because NASRI is the key partner in this. It's about awareness raising, about EU for Innovation, EU for Horizon Europe funds, and programs. It's about bringing together the key stakeholders that we have been already working with and presenting to them these opportunities. of course, enabling NASRI to create a pipeline of relevant calls. So basically working with you closely to identify the relevant calls that Albania could really benefit the most. So targeting capacities and not simply spreading it all over. And it was already a good example. EU for Innovation supported the Digital Euro program that was led by the Ministry of Infrastructure, and it proved quite successful that over 12 consortia were built, but like 5 or 6 of them are expected to ideally get a positive response and get the funding to continue. Of course, in our objective is also to set up the European Digital Innovation Hubs, as well as to set up the EIT Community Hub in Albania, and that's also going towards positive trajectory, so to say. Well, these are just to illustrate a little bit what the program is doing, but in a nutshell is trying to focus a lot on the Horizon Europe program. As mentioned earlier, DEP, it's already one program that is proving to be positive, and we will follow up on that as well. And then it's the setup of EIT Key Community Hub in Albania. Last but not least, focusing a little bit on what we're doing towards the quadruple helix innovation events. As I said, it was specifically mentioned that we need to address challenges of the municipalities that are linked to the green, circular economy, sustainability, mobility, or any other kind of challenge. So it's actually, as you mentioned in your presentation, having a bottom-up approach. So identifying challenges and try to tackle them, okay? And then the idea would be that we would, so to say, orchestrate the series of these innovation events with the participation of the actors, and then to apply, after testing, to apply the innovation in public works, so e-mobility or circularity or any other kind of measures that the city would like to kind of continue developing further that leads to a green and digital transition of the city. Of course, at the core, it's the famous eyes, as you also mentioned. So basically, if we need to work with the key stakeholders, it's not enough if you simply inform. You need to really inspire. So bring the sparkles, show good cases, examples, show that it works, giving references also to other cases, and initiate a process together with the local stakeholders. So co-design, co-create, so to say. And then after setting up the ground, co-implement with them, okay? Impact, so evaluate the so to say, the result of this, and if the test or if the experiment proves successful, then you could iterate this into other contexts or other solutions and so on and forth. So this becomes a typical lab. In a nutshell, what we could do, and what we are actually doing and started doing, we have an instrument that we call Urban Partnership Accelerator. So basically in a lab that deals with the urban issues in specific cities, where we aim to work with the key stakeholders from the private sector, academia, the cities, and the civil society, and have a series of events that could be not only workshops and information sessions, and then even inject instruments or events like hackathons to select a few ideas that are more relevant, select out of this a few more that really have the possibility and the scalability to actually receive additional training and to develop an MVP, and at the end invest or provide funding to one of these pilots per city, so that if successful, it could be reiterated in other cases and contexts. What we are doing currently, it's a so-called circular city lab. So it's another lab. It's about circularity. It has a certain very specific focus on the reusable packaging system. I'll tell you a little bit more about it in depth, but just to bring to the attention, this is what we are also trying to do while implementing the lab. So building while basically working with the city, identifying the key players, having the call for the private sector to be engaged in these solutions and selecting the best, providing training, and then providing funding to the best ideas to be implemented. Hand in hand, we work with the perspective that additional EU funding could be received. So the idea would be that we could identify additional calls that these projects fit to, and having already built a consortia and a good case, the possibilities for really building a good applications are higher. And this is exactly what we are doing, just to give you also an example of how we try to apply the quadruple helix also into this. The Circular City Labs, it's actually a project that is initiated by GIZ in partnership with the Ministry of Development and Cooperation in Germany, BMZ. And what they want to do is to have 3 labs in the world. So they selected Albania after baseline, they selected Tbilisi in Georgia, and also Colombia, Medellin. So 3 Circular City Labs will run parallel. Okay, it's a similar logic with the soil labs a little bit. And then in Albania, this project is implemented by EU for Innovation, an additional program that has also EU money, which is called EU for Circular Economy. So we joined forces and we try to make this a better case. This project locally is implemented by a consortia of 3 primary players. It's Distill Creative Hub and ISO, basically an innovation support organization that provides for the facilities and the environment, and they have experience into implementing programs, incubation programs, focusing also in women, in collaboration with Polis University and Coplan. One of those organizations that Imran also mentioned has already proven to be successful rate of participation in Horizon Euro programs and the like. And they are working closely with Crazy Town, which is a Finnish organization well known for activating players in the ecosystem. The focus of the Circular City Lab, it's basically not that wide, not simply circular economy, but it's focusing on reusable packaging. So how could we reduce the waste in the city by introducing the concepts and the systems of reuse? And additionally, empowering women, because it was based on the studies, women are the ones that actually are more concerned with sustainability, are more involved with the household works. But additionally, they also proved to be quite successful entrepreneurs that also set up, if they set up the goal of having a sustainable business that at the core has also sustainability, they really try to do their best to actually reach this. And what we're trying to do with this is actually identifying not simply actors from one cycle like customers or vendors, but we're trying to identify all players that could make the system of reuse work. So the call is open not only to SMEs, but it's open also to innovators, to researchers, to tech, to IT skilled startups or event management companies that could ideally work together towards building the system. And as mentioned earlier, the process is actually a quite structured process that we receive applications, and then there is a first layer of selection. A few selected players go to a hackathon, which is a very intensive matchmaking event where they could also clarify a little bit ideas. And then after the hackathon, a second selection is done and a few players, 10 to 12 teams, are selected to participate in the accelerator. And then at the end of a 4-month training, one case would be piloted. But given we have grants now from the other program, we might implement 4 or 5 or 6 of these solutions actually, which is great opportunity. There is 50K ticket for each and one of the players, and the call will be open until June the 10th. I don't know whether is interested people here, but might be good to share. So thank you, and for further information, you could definitely follow up the links of the program that are listed there, but also open to any questions later on if need be. Thank you.
Coming up with a product and the center of the agri-technology transfer, and then we will see how the project of the Horizon Europe is already.
Hi everybody, I will inform you about some project and programs of our center in dealing with the soil. Our center is Applied Research Institute of Environment and Agriculture, and our center is one of 5 centers located in different parts of Albania, but with a different duty and let's talk about our structure. We have three main directories: the Directorate of Soil and Water Services, Directorate of Livestock Technology, Directorate of Agriculture Technology, Sector of Integrated Farm Management, Sector of Laboratory, composed with 4 laboratory of soil, water, and plant, fertilizer products, feed products, and of biological material, and as well sector of experimental and production farm. The activity of Center of Agricultural Technology Transfer, we focus on project programs on farm research, services, and activity of experimental basis. The project that we implement the last 3 years is the study of the soil sanitization in a greenhouse, prevent and manage of its effects. This is the soil sanitization is one of main problem in Albania, especially in the greenhouse, and especially in a district of Lushnja. When you see the red point, the most of greenhouses were located. And through this project, assessment of soil sanity in the greenhouse is done, assessment of water quality in the water source and use for irrigation of greenhouse, and assessment of the most appropriate chemical, physical, and biological methods for reducing salinity in soil and water. We have also the project with third part. We call third part because are the funding out of the Ministry of Agriculture, where our duty is to monitor, evaluate, and reporting of contaminated site from the different source of contamination. The last 2 years, we are focused to the heavy metal, to the monitoring on heavy metal pollution in the agricultural soils. Also, we have a partner in a program, in a project with, in frame of the Horizont European, in the project platform for helping small and medium farmers to incorporate digital technology for equal opportunity. This program introduces an innovative, and unique digital tools, especially for the small and medium-sized farmers who are currently unable to benefit from the digital innovation, which is increased use by land production. The program will connect the data and the people through an application with 2 main goals: providing free advice to farmers based on data and lands, water, and agricultural crops, and improving synergic cooperation between farmers, consumers, and the service providers, strengthening local agricultural knowledge and innovation system. And the main program the main program of our center is management of sustainable agriculture soil. Through this program, the agricultural soil inventory of Albania is being established. The national program aims to produce a database in parcel level and very detailed maps at the scale into 10,000 on soil type, soil and land suitability, land use and land use change, irrigation and drainage systems, and soil erosion risk. Through this program, very intensive survey were undertaken in very detailed, let's say in 9-hectare intensity, and collect the soil data for the soil and the terrain. Next, and through this program, thematic and problematic maps were produced. We have some samples with total available. We work in the unit administrative level. we have a map of total available water and the soil drainage. Next. And the soil depth, stone and topsoils. Next. And the potential and actual soil erosion risk. And we produced two very important products, the soil type, which give give farmers on the society or a company or agriculture company with the soil data. And the soil and land stability map is that give a very important information about soil and land suitability. And very important is also the analyzing of dynamic of land use change in such periods. In this map, we have land use in 2013 and land use in 2019. Also, land use change in this period. And we need. It is very important to see how is the land use change is positive as negative, or it is necessary to compare actual land use with potential land use. Next. And for every administrative units, we zoning the area, agriculture area lost from the urbanization. And as you see in this map, in the surface on 1,000 hectares, 10 hectares or 9% of agricultural land were occupied by buildings. Next. And finally, we put the very detailed information of soils in the cadastral parcel. If you can see a small figure, but in every parcel you can find information about pH, humus, available phosphor, and cation exchange capacity, exchange cation, etc. Until now, we finished. We created such information in the 460,000 hectares, or 67% of total agriculture areas. Agricultural inventory will strongly contribute in determination of best agriculture choice, priority in rural infrastructure, land consolidation and taxation, suitable use of agricultural soil, optimizing irrigation methods, soil protection, and delineation of area with natural constraint. And to easily connect the farmers on the of our agriculture company with the data, in 2023 we developed a WebGIS with soil data. The link is on top of the figure. When in the left side we have a module of public information. And you can give all the information you need about soil. Next. So this is the portal. We have a layer in the left side. Until now, we put the information for the 8 municipality. And in the end of the year, 14 municipality information for 14 municipality will be there. Then we have a service, but we perform chemical and physical analysis of soil, water, and plant, sustaining the research work of the centers, soil testing and preparation of recommendation for the farmers, and the control of fertilizer quality. The next, and the second and the last one is activity of experimental basis. And the last view is Permeti, a very wonderful site.
So your information that you already shared with us is very appreciable, because I think that it's the main goal of the project in itself, to well understand which and who can apply in this project. And I'm wondering, do you have a database of the land users in Albania so we can share this opportunity that can apply? Do we have this? Okay. And the second thing, I would like to know, how is the role of the universities to your center? Sa është rëndësia e pjesëmarrjes së universiteteve në qendrën tuaj? Mhm. Mhm.
But not say institutional connection, just personal communication with, but not any institutional. That's it.
Because you have done a very good study about,
Yeah.
especially about this two periods that you already compare, and what is very important is what the land user can use and where they can use it. So this is something that you can as well, we can encourage to collaborate with universities, that they can help during this process, and as well during the lab process. So really, thank you very much for the food of your information that you gave, that we can as well encourage the university to work with your center, because this is one of the role of the SCiDEV organization. Thank you very much, Katrin. So now we have the case study in Albania, and now we are moving to the sea, to the ocean. Thank you, Mavis.
Thank you, Rida. My name is Mavis Struga. I'm a founder of ETMI Albania. It's an organization founded in 2014, 10 years already. And since last year, we are running a Horizon Europe project, which will last for 4 years. And likewise, our project belongs to EU mission for oceans and waters. And yeah, so this is a picture which shows, let's say, I wanted to share this picture to describe, let's say, what is the purpose of our project. So since we are targeting plastic waste or marine litter, since we are quite aware about the seas and rivers in Albania are quite polluted with plastic waste, and we see this project will have a quite high impact on the rivers. So this is a picture which is in the river mouth of Isham River, which is one of the most polluted rivers in Albania, but as well in Europe. So we are here for a cleanup event last year. Okay, do I need to next or? Okay, thanks. So the project will gather together more than 20 partners from the Mediterranean region, and the primary purpose of the project is to prevent, to monitor and to valorize the plastic waste of the marine litter. So there are several work packages, but the most, let's say, present activities or work package are basically consisting in cleanups. The target value for the whole project is 10,000 tons of plastic to be cleaned, to be removed from the seas and rivers. It's about monitoring, technology solution, and capacity building. So likewise, our projects, even in this project, we have several lighthouses, which are spread out in different regions. For instance, one of those lighthouses is Venice, which is a very experienced organization dealing with plastic and with marine litter. As well, we have another the lighthouse in Slovenia, in Ljubljana, which is leaded from Maribor University, which are they're very experienced in such topic. And in Albania, and beside the lighthouse, we have some demo sites. We call demo sites. One of the demo sites is Lana River in Tirana. so which is part of the project. So since engage in several work packages, one of the work packages is very important, is about monitoring. So like to connect even with a project, you have, I checked that you have some soil monitoring, if I'm not wrong, and all this data has to be reported to the European Observatory. So in Albania, we have lacking a lot of data, and this is very important. So we don't only do cleanups, but as well we go to the scientific part. So here we investigate, for instance, we have following the UNEP marine leader protocols, which consist in several steps of protocols, and this protocol is as well developed through our project. And here we want to, we have in Hamhalai beach, we have already found or identified 100 meters distance, and we are going here to monitor what is the amount of plastic waste or items which are found in this area. And all these data are going to be collected and to be reported through, we call it Remedies app. And through Remedies app, which is one of the deliverables of our project, we collect all this data to this app, and after we report to the European Observatory network. And this is very important because even our National Agency for Environment in Albania is the institution which is responsible to collect and to report data to this network, but because of lacking capacities or people, they are not doing it well. So this project will contribute as well to the national agenda for the green agenda for the Western Balkan beside the project. So location, Hamhalai Beach, Durrës. Frequency, we're going to have it 4 times per year. Currently, the first monitoring was done last March 2024 in this perspective. So here I will show you, so this is some of the pictures with our team. We did some of the on the site monitoring assessment, and we are collected 51 kilogram of waste collected. Out of that, 28 of plastic and 23 of non-plastic waste collected. So we can see that in 100 meters, we found 975 items. And the reference value, EU reference value, it is only 20 items per 100 meters. So for that, we can consider that our data exceeds a lot the value from the European Union value. So this is the data here, as I mentioned. So we can see composition of non-plastic waste. Here we found metal food cans, glass bottles, shoes and sandals made of leather and textile, processed wood items, cardboard boxes, paper cups. So these are some of those. We did some waste composition. So we have a waste fraction composition, and we identify what is the percentage of each item. And here composition, plastic waste per category. And here we see that we have bottles, we have artificial polymer materials, bottles, which are food-related stuff, fishing gear, and fishing gear related. So fishing gear, I think, is one of the most present waste, let's say, found. Other polymers, etc. So here, yeah, we see that the artificial polymer materials and food-related are the most present waste in the first monitoring we did. And here as well we have result composition, plastic waste per subcategory because the different categories. So here we see that we have as well plastic drink bottles, less than 0.5 liters, cups and lids of hand plastic, plastic, oyster, have different materials, fragments of non-formed plastic. So there are different categories because we're following all the GL list waste categories of the European Union, and based on that list, we're trying to categorize the waste depending on the type. But besides the beach leader monitoring, we are as well trying to do river leader monitoring. So to do the same method, the methodology applied here is different from that one because here we are doing only observation. So we have already found one location in the along Lana River where we are going to make the all this observation, which is done 4 times per 6 months, and we did all the data which are collected from that. We try to report to the app as well. And here we have already from the river leader monitoring Lana River done before. Here we have all this data, so we can see the most present are plastic wet wipes, depending on the different size. Plastic and wet wipes from 5 to 10 centimeters. Plastic wet wipes with different size. So here we see that this is the most common plastic in the river. So as I mentioned, this marine data monitoring is very important. So we want as well to try to monitor all this data to the platform. But since Lana River is one of the demo sites of our projects, we are going to have as well prevention. So by this year, with our partner, river cleaning company from Italy, we are going to design. We have already designed, but now we are discussing with the municipality of Tirana to implement this river prevention barrier. We have already found the location, which is in the city, in the urban area, and we want to have this plastic waste collection. So we are pretty sure that this, let's say, this prevention might not have a very high effect, but still we want to understand, or we want to, through this project, we want to inform even other citizens about the consequences has poor waste management in the environment. So, and after that, this technology will hand over to the municipality, who they are going to manage and to collect and to remove the waste regularly based on the protocol. So this is the technology which is already which is planned to be installed by end of this year, and now we are in discussing as well with our local partners, with water agencies for water resources, and with municipality, how we can try to install this technology and to have this is a demo site. So, and we're surrounded to this demo site. We want as well to have the monitoring to see how the waste will be. So we are going to have monitoring before the installation, and after that we are going to have the monitoring after the installation. So with this task, we want as well to assess what is the effectiveness of this technology in the environment. So what will be the level of waste which will be removed from the technology. So this is the case study. So beside this, so we have the monitoring, I believe we have the prevention through this one. We have valorization, so holding with your project, which is very important about circular city. We want as well to engage different stakeholders, businesses, SMEs, universities in co-creation events, because through this project we are going to develop some other technology solutions. So there are some other partners, and all this technology solution can be shared with local partners here in Albania, who potentially can be interested to find financing, or they can finance by themselves the technology to our local events. So we are going to develop some co-creation activities, co-creation events with local stakeholders and some other citizens, one summer school engaging young people in plastic waste or mine litter. And I think this is a good initiative so far, because through this project now we are trying to combine other projects in the site in order to scale up our activities impact to the Isham River, but maybe to other rivers in Albania. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mavis. Thank you very much, all of you, for being here. Thank you very much for the work you are doing. Congratulations on the job and all this synergy that you are doing. We mentioned, all of us mentioned, starting from the presentation of the mission of this project in itself, we mentioned that we have to build networking with each other. So that is the starting point of applying, of empowering, of increasing, and as well for being for having a concrete product in the end. And why not to have to reach the mission 2030 of European Commission, and to reach it in the proper way. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for all the job and all this presentation that you share with us. Hopefully, and wish that this is a starting point. Why not for a new project with all of us together today? Thank you very much for your time. Нека миня растечното вобед пријашта, пардонте për sinergjinë dhe diskutimet e proiectit. Prevention pjesën e proiectit, me ide që ta konsumonin